Good evening for tuning in. My name is Jemima Beatrice. I'm your host for tonight. Let's have a look at today's newspaper headlines. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us this evening. Tonight, I'm speaking to Pastor Bucks van Wyk, who's from the Namibia Public Passenger Taxi Association. He's going to talk to us about the chaos that was caused by the state of emergency and lockdown measures introduced by the president earlier this year in light of the coronavirus outbreak. Thank you for joining us, Pastor van Wyk.
Good evening, Jemima. Thank you for the invitation.
Yes. Thank you for joining us. As I've said earlier, can you share with us a bit how this lockdown has impacted the work of transport workers?
Yeah, as you know, regarding the capacity, reducement of the capacity, the loading capacity, that people are losing out on their profits. And the other thing what now happens is we are stuck with a lot of passengers, commuters, which doesn't have sufficient transport, and we have to go for the extra mile and additional transport to accommodate our commuters between our towns, especially now. I'm talking about on Rehoboth, Windhoek. Groot Windhoek, where we face now a lot of difficulties regarding our stranded passengers. But now, in the meantime, we are in talks with the Ministry of Works and Transport, which will assist us with a price increment only for the lockdown period, or the second option was a stimulus package, which is also to be determined. But we already handed in our request and table it to the minister, and they are I think they sit today on it, and then they will give us a feedback via a press release.
Sometime this week.
Yeah, during the course of this week, maybe tomorrow or maybe tonight.
Okay. Pastor, can you please give us a bit of insight? How many, roughly, can you give us a number as to how many passengers will be affected with by the situation as it is right now? How many passengers are commuting between these three towns?
We quickly gathered last week, Monday, and there was more or less 40 minibuses, and you can calculate it on a minibus. Say we take on 14 passengers per bus, and then there is also some of this Ivecos and Sprinters, but it's not that much. Say can say maybe 3 or 4 Sprinters and Crafters, which also they say 22 seaters, which also operate between Windhoek and Rehoboth. And the workforce from Rehoboth to Windhoek, we can calculate it roughly, say maybe, I will not, let me not confuse myself with figures. And then if we already have plus minus 40 minibuses, which run on a pool system, a fixed term system, a monthly system. And then there's the other ones who operate from rank to rank. That's where we use them now to accommodate that extra. And then there's also the sedan cars, which also run. So if you take, I can only now count on the minibuses, and so if you take that 40 and you add another 40, so it's already 80. minibuses between Windhoek and Rehoboth. Groothoop and Windhoek is also, we can calculate it maybe on 20 to 30 minibuses on a daily basis.
And that's just the minibuses?
Just the minibuses. And there's also sedan cars. And you even have those who are traveling up and down during the course of the day. And not only in the morning and in the afternoon. But that is now for those...
for fixed term?
No, not for the fixed terms, for the regular customers. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Pastor, you were talking about a request you have handed in with the Ministry of Works and Transport. Can you please give us a background to this letter? What was the request for exactly? And can you also shed a bit of light on the increment?
The letter mainly was for the increment on the capacity, the loading capacity.
Oh, okay.
To get more passengers in one bus. But they refused it due to that is not, the regulation didn't come from the Ministry of Works and Transport, but from Ministry of Social Health and Welfare. And regarding the social distance, which all of us have to adhere to, so they refuse it. But on the other hand, they suggested that we can request a raise, say more or less to 33% on the current prices, which we have already in existence. But this will only be for the lockdown period. After the lockdown...
But the lockdown has come to an end now.
At the end of the lockdown, we will return back to our normal price.
Are you talking about the state of emergency?
Yeah, the state of emergency.
So what would this 33% increase mean for one individual person who's driving by a minibus per day?
That one is a little bit difficult to...
How much do they pay right now?
They pay the normal price for the fixed term is 1,400. And the commuters, daily based commuters, pay $50 a trip for a single trip.
So that is at least 300 or more increase.
It is more than $300.
Yeah.
If you take it say on the 1,400, which it's more or less a midpoint, and you add that $50 a day. Not add, if you calculate it on the $50 a day, then it's up to 2,000
per day. So basically
per month.
Per month. Yeah. So are you telling me that should this request be approved by the ministry, if you agree to this request, to this increase of a price of 33% increase, does that mean for someone who's taking a minibus in the morning, this person may end up paying $2,000 per month?
Yes.
Are you also considering the fact that many of these people have their salaries reduced?
Yes, we are aware of it, and that's why we as the association already stated we distance ourselves, because any increment now, before the minister or the board of Ministry of Works and Transport approved it, is an illegal increment. And there is a warning that anyone who made him or herself guilty about that can be the permits can be withdrawn. There will be a penalty.
Okay, so let us just be clear. This 33% was proposed by government.
By government.
And the union is saying what about this?
The association, it was suggested to us, let us work on that. And let me make one thing clear. When we consult the ministry or negotiate with the ministry on behalf of increment, we negotiate on behalf of our members who commute on not on the fixed term, but on the trip, day-to-day trips. But we in Rio, there's a thing, or even I think in Okahanya, and even Groote, there's a thing that they are in a gentleman or a mutual agreement that our prices are reduced. Those were the fixed term. Prices are reduced already. So those with on the daily basis, which run on $50. Now those which like in these pool partners, they will also want to benefit now from the $50. And that's why that price increment goes up to 2,000, which is totally wrong. They have to work on that 1,400 or 1,300, what they charge. They have to work on that and increase their tariffs according to that, what they already charge. Because it is not fair.
So are you saying the what is it? The association rejected the 33% proposal from government?
No, we didn't reject it.
You are considering it?
We are considering it, and we already submitted. On Friday, we submit a letter to the government, so let them then sit and discuss it and give us the approval to increase according to that 33%.
That's 33%?
Yeah.
And I've asked you earlier, you understand that some people have the salaries cut.
Yes.
Are you keeping this in mind? How are you addressing this? I mean, imagine some of these people earn around $4,000. So say I earn $4,000 at a local retail store, and I have to pay 2,000.
2,000.
Is it possible? Do you think it makes sense?
It's that it doesn't make sense. What I told some of our members who personally contact me, what I told them, listen, there was a request from government side that no one asked for this state of emergency, and that us help each other during this period. So agree on something to assist one another. We are running now on a loss, but government already made provision in the reducement of fuel prices, and also the talks with the banks for that installment reliefs. So government feels that they already do something. That's why they will not say reject us on this, but they will take into consideration all the other effects and efforts which government already come up.
Now the transport buses, have they taken advantage of these options that were granted by government, like the going to the bank to ask for payment loans on the vehicle payments?
Yeah, those who have installments will still pay on their vehicles, and some of them did go, went there and negotiate with the bank. You have to go registered most for that installment relief.
Yes, of course.
So some of them did go there and do that registration.
And they are also paying less for petrol at this point?
They are also paying less for petrol.
And fuel.
And diesel and so on. And okay, their reasoning is, what about our wear and tear? But as I said earlier, that government already said that please let us help each other. No one asked for this pandemic.
So as things are standing right now, what is the situation?
Now the situation is quite normal. You will say during the course of the day, you will see, or the mornings, you will see sometimes they look like there are people stranded, but it's not the case because there is buses available. The buses which charge the $50 per
extra.
Trip. No, only the $50 per trip, not extra. This is those ones who operate daily during per trip from rank to rank. Yeah, they are there on standby. So it's not like that we are really stranded. Yeah. For instance, yesterday afternoon, there was a lot of commuters, but at the end of the day, all of them was assisted in taken to Windhoek and from Windhoek to Rehoboth. But what happened on the other hand, those guys with the pool partners, they didn't, some of them, they didn't use their buses on over the weekends, like in Saturday and Sunday. So they rest, and on Monday morning, they just get up and move with their fixed passengers. Now their concern is that they lose out, can they not load more, increase the capacity because they are of the vacant seats, but government said no. The Ministry of Works and Transport say no, let us adhere to the regulations of the COVID-19 until we reach the end of this.
So Pastor, what do you foresee will happen should passengers refuse to pay this 33% increase and government continue to insist that people cannot load more than half of their passengers?
They can refuse, as in now, they can refuse until the increment is approved. From then on, and then I think we will still be open for negotiations. We will still see what the need, we will know what the need is, so we will still see where we can assist.
In the past, there was a concern that some of the people with sedan cars are taking hitchhikers along when they come to Windhoek, and in the process robbing these buses from an income. Now, do you not see this happening again when people are forced to pay 33%, they cannot afford it, so they are forced to go and stand by the road and hitchhike to Windhoek?
Yeah, and that is the other thing. Those sedan cars, they grab the opportunity already to assist in that matter, or again on a lower, reduced price of $40 per person. So, but on the other hand, is to transport people in a sedan car is also illegal because they do it without the relevant papers, which is a permit, and the driver with a professional authority, which we normally call the PDP, and they can apply for a transportation permit, but they are restricted in the boundaries of the municipal area, certain radius where they can operate in. And unfortunately, the distance between Rehoboth and Windhoek doesn't allow it. But you know, most the other trick is, this is my family, we just commute together. And they all, the passengers or the commuters on that stage, they will also agree or play along. Now we are only family.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us insight into the situation, Pastor.
Yeah, you're welcome, Jemima. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for tuning in.